What's up, guys? I'm Tim. This is New Craft Workshop, and it's the middle of the month, and that means it's time for another stuff you should be buying to save yourself some money out in your shop. And Tim did all the shopping for us, and we're very appreciative. So that kind of video. Yeah, let's get after it. So I got 10 items I'm going to show you guys today. Hopefully we're going to do hands-on on all of them, show you a comparison about prices. When I can compare apples to apples, I will. Most of the time we're going to be comparing similar items that we can get on Amazon that are comparable. I do my best to only give you things that are rated 4.2 to 3 stars and above on Amazon. I'm not going to give you something that's got 2 reviews or it's a 1.5 rating. That would be kind of silly of me. But yeah, we're going to talk about 10 really cool things that you should be buying on Amazon to save yourself some money out in your shop. So let's get right after it with item number 1. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be this set of plug cutters. Now, what's really cool about this set of plug cutters is the tip that you see right here on the end of it. And the benefit that you have there is that you're actually going to be able to use this plug cutter safely with your handheld drill. Now, if you've ever tried to use a traditional style plug cutter with your handheld drill, you know that thing can jump around, and that is not safe at all. So this little tip basically is going to allow us to have a nice firm grip and a starting point as we drive our cutter into our material. Now, if we look at this, we have the exact same thing available over at Woodcraft. Now, on Amazon, it's $35. Over at Woodcraft, it's $44. So purchasing this thing on Amazon, item 1, I've already saved you guys 20%. And if you're not familiar with Montana brands, they make some really good products. So that's it. Let's get to this next item. All right, our next item we're going to talk about is going to be this set of card scrapers. Now, this is made by DFM Toolworks. If you're not familiar with who they are, you might be, because I've shown you guys this tiny little blue square that they make that rivals the Woodpeckers, but it's better because it has a couple extra features built into it. But DFM makes some extremely good quality tools, and the fact that this set comes with a couple different shaped card scrapers is great because it's going to allow you to get into those coves and those OGs and those tight corners, whereas the traditional flat is going to be limited to your flat surfaces. And if we look over here at Amazon, this particular set, we're going to get 3 of these scrapers. Again, we're going to have a variety of shapes here. And this set is going to run you $14.99 for easy math. Let's call it 15 bucks. Then we're going to head over to Woodcraft. Now, Woodcraft, their set is 3 pieces also, but if you notice, they're all 3 just rectangular. That is going to run you $26 for easy math. Savings here is 42%. Don't know about you, but anytime I can get a good quality product that's going to give me more options, and in the process I can save 42%, I'm going to do it. So let's go next item. All right, so this next item I have actually shown you guys before a couple times, and it is some LIONMAX screws. Now today though, we're gonna specifically talk about their pocket hole screws because prices have finally came back down. Now, about 2 or 3 months ago, I quit pushing LIONMAX because there were some more affordable options on Amazon. Global economics, and I'm sure some other stuff, another conversation for another day and probably for another channel. But blue epoxy coated, standard. I have a ton of different sizes, as you can see, and I buy all of these over at Amazon. And we're going to look at what we're going to pay right here. Over at Amazon, we're going to get 600 count box, 1.25 inch, 20 bucks. Closest thing I can find over at Home Depot is going to be 250 count, but we're going to pay $24.50. And then over at Woodcraft, we can pick these up 500 at a time for $36. Now, the savings comes in when we start looking at the per screw price. Over at Home Depot, you're going to pay 10 cents a screw. Over at Woodcraft and Rockler, you're going to pay about 7 cents a screw. At Amazon, you're going to pay 3 cents a screw. It's a massive savings, and for those of you who are like, well, it's just a couple cents. Yeah, but when you're going through thousands of pocket hole screws a year, and thousands of wood screws a year, and thousands of other kinds of fasteners, 3 cents, 4 cents, 7 cents a fastener adds up extremely quick. This is a no-brainer. Pocket hole screws and wood screws and everything over at Amazon are the way to go. So, next item. All right, I have not shown you guys this thing in about a year, but this is a phenomenal deal. Now, I know that there are a ton of little squares on the internet. There's some high dollar ones, which if you like paying out the rear end because it's a cool kid's toy and it's anodized red, feel free. But this little Machinist square right here is absolutely spot on and the price can't be beat. Okay, so first, let's take a look at how accurate this thing is. The easiest way to test that is going to be to lay this on a known square cut and then flip it over. Mark a line on both sides, and as long as those two lines are parallel, we know this thing is accurate at 90 degrees. And as you can see, this thing is extremely accurate. Now let's talk price. This little square is going to run you $8 over at Amazon. It's metal. It's heavy duty, comes in a little carrying case. We're gonna head over to Rockler, look at what they have. This one is decent. I think, you know, if you wanna pay to have a walnut handle, feel free to do so. $22.99. And then we're gonna head over to Woodcraft, where you're gonna see a similar sized square over at Woodcraft is gonna run you 36 bucks. Now, compared to Woodcraft, you are saving 78%. I don't know about you guys, but 78% savings on anything out in my shop is the way to go. So this Machinist square for 8 bucks, grab these because they'll probably go back up in price, because the last time I did these, they were 8 bucks, and about 4 days later, they were $11.99. So take that for what it's worth. Next item. All right, this next item is this drill block by Milescraft, and I'm not gonna do too much demo on this one, and we're not gonna talk too much price, because this thing right here is exactly what you would expect it to be. It has your metal inserts. So you're going to lay this down on your material. It's going to allow your drill bit to go in completely perpendicular and straight when you are pre-drilling for things like dowels and stuff. Milescraft, 8 bucks. Everybody else sells the KREG version. It's 10. Why is it on the list? Because it's a good quality tool and it's 20% cheaper than the name brand. And I don't know about you guys, but I have zero complaints with Milescraft out of my shop. As a matter of fact, we got this cool little stuff on my T-Track. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But yeah, 20% savings to drill some straight holes when you're getting ready for dowels or whatever else you might need to drill a perfectly straight hole for. So next item. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is this set of metal corner clamps. Now, this thing is pretty cool in the sense that it does exactly what it's supposed to do, but it does it very well, and it does it at an absolutely amazing price. So let's take a look at this thing. So as we're screwing this clamp down, you'll notice that this thing sways back and forth left and right. And that is a self-adjusting feature that is going to allow you to butt two different thickness materials up against each other. We can have 3/4 on one side and 5/4 on the other. We can have a 1x on one side and a 2x on the other. This thing is going to self-adjust, and it is extremely easy to torque this thing down. One handle shaped just like your screwdriver. Torque it down, hold your stuff in place. Awesome steel. And let's look at pricing, and you'll see why this is such a good bargain. So over at Amazon, we're going to pick up 4 of these. Again, solid metal construction, heavy duty. We're going to pay $40 for the set, which winds up being right at $10 a clamp. Math, right? 4 divided by, yeah, 10 a piece. Sorry, had to think about that for a second. Then we're going to head over to Rockler. To get 4 clamps, we're going to pay 50 bucks. Some of you guys might be like, well, $10 more, I can get Rockler, but look at these. They're plastic. They're not self-adjusting. You have to adjust either side. Little more work involved, and it's plastic. I'd rather have the metal ones. And then last, we're going to head over to Woodcraft. They're going to sell Bessey. That's an equivalent to this as far as the functionality. It's self-adjusting, so as you're torquing it down, of course, again, you can put 2 different thickness materials in there. 32 bucks a piece. To get 4 of those, you are going to be looking at $128. That is a savings of like 70%. Good quality clamps. I love these things. I use them out in my shop all the time. You'll love them too. Grab a set. Let's go next item. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at is this template for your router. This is a radius as well as your angled edges. Now, this is not made by Going Make, although it's black and it's heavy duty aluminum, just like all of their stuff. But I absolutely love this thing. And let me show you a couple things as to why it's such a good tool to have out in your shop. First thing we're going to look at are the contact points where we're going to put this up against our material. Now these are knurled, so they're going to give you a good grip, and they're going to be held in place a little more firm than if there was no knurling on here. And the knob itself that allows you to loosen up and remove the radius or adjust the radius is also knurled, giving you a good grip. And the fact that it's brass, or at least it appears to be brass, is going to be beneficial out in my shop because it's so freaking humid in Houston. I have to be careful with what I put out here. So let's look at price. So over at Amazon, this thing is 32 bucks. Again, solid aluminum construction. The only downfall is all of your markings are in metric, which to some of you it might not matter. Me personally, whenever I pick a radius for a project, most of the time I'm simply looking at it to see if it aesthetically goes with the project I'm making. I'm not really caring so much about the actual radius measurement. But head over to Rockler. Their house brand set, it's made from plastic. I'm not going to lie to you. This is one thing from Rockler I personally would not buy, but it's $85. It's 53 more bucks, and it's made from plastic. Head over to Woodcraft. They've got their flat little metal ones that I'm not sure exactly how these things stay in place because of the way they're designed, but their set you're going to pay $43. So the savings compared to the comparable set over at Rockler, 60%. And like I've told you guys before, 60% is 60%. If every item that I talked to you today about is saving you 40, 50, 60, 70%, pick it up while you can. So let's go. Next item. All right, next up is going to be this T-square by Saker. I actually showed this to you guys about a month or so ago, Amazon Prime Day. It's still a great price, and this is an absolutely phenomenal tool. It is red and white lettering, so it kind of looks like the cool kids tools, but it's got some stuff that theirs doesn't. So first off, we've got positive stops, which are great. And right now my hands are so sweaty. It's hot as hell in Houston still at October. But hear that? Yeah. We're clicking in place. We have positive stops at 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, and of course 90. We can then take the knob, crank it down, lock it into place, and that's going to hold our angle very precise. We've also got this little insert that accepts our pencil. You can loosen this, move it along the rule, find your mark, and insert your pencil that is included. And as you scribe this along the edge of your material, you're going to get a nice, precise mark. Now, the test of any kind of square, as always, is going to be the double-sided line draw, which we're going to take this, butt it up against a known square surface. Then we're going to draw a line, move our square over, and using the opposing side, also draw another line. And as you can see, as I run this thing up the camera or the camera down the wood from this angle right here, whatever that is, you can see that's an extremely parallel set of lines. This thing is spot on 90 degrees. Now, let's talk about price. Today's price at Amazon is what I'm going to show you, and yes, everything is from today. I filmed this morning, and it is accurate as of the time I'm popping this video up. So this is what we're going to pay for the Saker rule over at Amazon, and the only thing I could find comparable is going to be over at the specialty stores, and it's going to be the woodpeckers. There are some other options, but if you look at what you're going to pay for just a 12-inch square from Woodpeckers, and it's nothing but a 90-degree square, it's insane how much the difference in price is. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer something that has multiple uses, multi-functions, multi-functionality, whatever. But yeah, this thing will do a lot more than just a 90-degree mark, and it is a fraction of the price. So grab this thing before it starts going back up, like with every cool tool on Amazon eventually. That's what happens every time. So next item. All right, and last today we're going to talk about a panel carrier. Now, if you're not familiar with a panel carrier, this is a device that you slip over the side of your sheet goods, whether it's plywood, MDF, drywall, whatever. Push this over, and as you lift up, it pinches and holds onto your material. This one is made solid metal. It's all aluminum with a metal handle, and it has grip tape so that when you do lift up on this and it grabs your material, you can be assured it's not going to slip off. This allows you to throw your sheet goods over your shoulder, and if you're feeling frisky, you could maybe do some presses or some tricep extensions or whatever, but this thing is going to help tremendously. I'm not going to show you how this works because my plywood is way over there, behind my car, and if you've watched my channel for the past couple of months, you know it's still a mess out here, but we're getting there. But this is a great deal. Now, if we look at price on what this is going to run you over at Amazon, you're going to pay about $19, $20, somewhere in that area. If you go to the specialty stores, even Home Depot, Lowe's, they're all going to carry the same one made by KREG. Now, KREG, instead of being steel and aluminum, it's made from steel and ABS, and it's 25 bucks. The ones on Amazon, if you pick up a 2-pack, which I have 2 out in my shop because I tend to misplace things a lot, they wind up being 17 bucks a piece. So $8 cheaper, that's a savings of about 40%. That's a good price. So I would say grab a pair of these if you're going to get one, because the savings is better when you buy 2. All right, that's all I got for you today. So down in the description, you're going to find quite a few things that you should be clicking on. Number 1, click that subscribe button. We've got a ton of content coming your way. We're going to be doing a beginner's build video and a holiday build video each week between now and the end of the year. And each of those videos, I will be giving away some base camp dust masks. So you have to subscribe, you have to watch to see how you're going to win those masks. We also have down in the description our Facebook group page. Please click that, join our Facebook group. We would love to have you. Also down there, there is a like button. It looks like this. It's not the one that looks like this. Don't click that one. Even if you didn't like my video, don't click that. Just, if you don't like it, just move on. There's unlimited content on YouTube for you if you don't like what I'm doing here on my channel. Just don't do that. Last but not least, there are a ton of items that we talked about today that will all be linked down in the description. I've done the hard part. I've done the shopping for you. I've done looking at the reviews. I've done product testing. I have all of this stuff out in my shop, as you can see today. I will never recommend something to you guys that I don't believe in and actually use out in my shop. So it's our way of asking you to support New Craft Workshop without asking you for donations and joining our Patreon and all of that stuff. That's unnecessary. Just do your shopping at Amazon like you always do, and we get a very tiny commission, but it helps keep the channel afloat, helps keep me out here giving you content like this and our other stuff that we put out. So that's all I got. Thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me today at New Craft Workshop, and I will catch you on YouTube.